Goku, you're better than that.
Ultimate android.
Hockey for a dead man.
Not quite accurate. Boundless one. They just keep lining up to die.
I don't know about any of you guys, but I have been starving for new Dragon Ball animated content. I am salivating at the thought of seeing more burly buff men duke it out in cataclysmic battles. The only Dragon Ball content we have gotten in the recent 4 years have been the brand spanking new superhero movie and the retrain of the original non-canon Broly movie, transforming it into a canon version of itself. This got me thinking, we still have 10 non-canon Dragon Ball Z movies. What if we could rewrite these movies into being canon? In today's video, I will be attempting to rewrite Dragon Ball Z the world's strongest into a new canon version to be implemented in the current Dragon Ball continuity. In the original movie, we follow Gohan and Oolong in searching for the Dragon Balls in the frozen Tsurumai-Tsuburi Mountains, also known as the place where the ice never melts. Gohan has no idea they are actually looking for the Dragon Balls because Oolong desires incredibly comfy underwear. Fortunately, he will never find out because the dragon is summoned by Dr. Kochin, who wishes for the ice to actually melt, releasing Dr. Wilow's laboratory from its icy prison. Dr. Willow then proceeds to seek out the strongest warrior on Earth in order to prove that his bio-warriors are the actual strongest creations to walk the Earth. This movie takes place roughly between the defeat of Vegeta on Earth and the departure of the Z-Fighters to Namek. Obviously, we can't have this movie take place in the same time period as its non-canon counterpart took place. I would personally make this movie be something like a sequel to the recent superhero movie, and I hope all of you are ready to hear my voice nerding out to Dragon Ball fanfiction for a while, because here we go. Starting off, I would really like to give the spotlight to the human Z-Fighters for this one. Dragon Ball Super Broly was the spotlight of the Saiyans, and Dragon Ball Super Hero was the spotlight of basically Gohan and Piccolo. So I will offer my further reasons for this later on, and I will also explain why these Saiyans are not present for this movie as well. Starting off the movie, we have a regular day in North City where people are going about their daily lives. This piece does not last for long though. We soon see a rather familiar face from the past assaulting the city, or rather, familiar faces of the past. We see a legion of Major Metallatron laying siege on the unsuspecting city. Luckily for the inhabitants of North City, Yamcha flies in to hold back the horde of androids so the people of the city can get to safety. This is also where we learn that North City is not the only city in the area that is experiencing trouble. Several other nearby towns are being evacuated by Tien, Krillin, Chaozu, and even Roshi is helping out with the evacuation. The entire northern continent is being overrun with Major Metallatrons. You might be wondering where Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Piccolo are during this sudden time of crisis. Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku are off training with Broly on Beerus' planet under the guidance of Whis. Wanting to test his recent beast form, Gohan has picked up his training once more. Meanwhile, Piccolo has traveled to New Namek to learn more about the powers Shenron has granted him. Their departure leaving the defense of the Earth in the hands of the original human Z-Fighters. And in typical Dragon Ball fashion, disaster struck the moment Goku is off-world. Going back to Yamcha fending off the horde of androids, he realizes that the androids aren't particularly strong. He could swear the Cybermen he faced all those years back were even stronger than these piles of junk. But they make up for their lack of power with their sheer numbers. There must be thousands of them. Tien, Krillin, Roshi, and Chaozu are reaching the same conclusion. Given some time, they manage to force the horde of androids to retreat deep into the frozen lands of the Tsurumai-Tsuburi Mountains. Managing to regroup, the Z-Fighters don't give chase immediately. Tien and Roshi point out that this sudden retreat could very well be a trap to lure them into the enemy's territory. They decide that it would be smart to reach out to Goku through Bulma. Yamcha calls Bulma in order to relay the message that the Earth is facing another challenge, but just like in Superhero, their message fails to get noticed. After debating among each other what the best course of action would be, Krillin points out that they have to confront this enemy because they cannot risk endangering more innocent people in the surrounding cities. Agreeing that Krillin makes a valid point, they call Android 18 and 17 to keep an eye on the surrounding area and to jump in to help them should things go south. Since their energy is unable to be detected, they could prove to be a very strong secret weapon as deduced by Krillin. The Z-Fighters advance into the frozen lands ready to confront their mystery attacker. It does not take them very long to find a suspicious looking laboratory in the middle of nowhere. Tien rightfully points out that this setting seems familiar, thinking back on the time they discovered Dr. Jiro's laboratory hidden in the the mountains. As they enter the laboratory, they are greeted by an unfamiliar voice greeting the Z-Fighters. This voice belonging to Dr. Wheelo. The Doctor explains that he has sought revenge against Goku for destroying the Red Ribbon Army all those years ago. Ever since escaping the destruction of Muscle Tower, Dr. Wheelo has used Dr. Gero's research to create a mass-produced android army to take over the world. Unbeknownst to Dr. Wheelo, the Red Ribbon Army had already been resurrected once before by Magenta, being stopped by Gohan and Piccolo not long after. Dr. Wheelo had been living here in isolation all those years, completely oblivious to the fact that others had shared his ambition. The Z-Fighters are promptly attacked by the remaining major Metallotrons, who are quite easily dispatched. Dr. Cochin is soon found deeper inside the laboratory, having activated a device of sorts. The Doctor reveals himself as Android 9 and calls in the help of Android 10, who was modeled after the strongest man within the Red Ribbon Army known to Dr. Wheelo. As the blonde-haired android approaches the Z-Fighters, Krillin cannot help but remember some bad memories from the past. The android being modeled after none other than General Blue. These two androids prove to be far stronger than the mass-produced major Metallotrons, but the Z-Fighters are able to outclass and defeat both Android 9 and 10. Frustrated at the destruction of his best weapons, Dr. Wheelo decides he will have to use his final weapon, himself, which was earlier activated by Dr. Cochin. Much like in the original movie, Dr. Wheelo emerges from the walls of his laboratory, revealing the fact that he has transported his brain into a mecha suit much like the one Staff Officer Black used to face Goku. A long and hard battle ensues, with the Z-Fighters ending up battered and beaten, but victorious. The Earth having been saved by none other than the humans who inhabit the planet themselves. The androids were not needed after all, with our heroes having grown to even greater heights than before. Now, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel for more anime and Dragon Ball related content. It would really help to get my channel featured in the YouTube algorithm. With that being said, I will see you all again in the next video. Thanks for watching.